Mike Gallagher.
Every single day we're being reminded of the destruction and the absolute lawlessness that the Democrats are embracing. And right now, what's happening at Columbia University, Yale, NYU, I mean, President Trump moments ago had the pitch-perfect response to it all. It's disgraceful that these anti-Semites are closing down the college campus, and Biden is no friend of Israel. Lara Trump is co-chair of the Republican National Committee, along with North Carolina Republican Party leader Michael Whatley. She, of course, is married to Eric Trump. She is the president's daughter-in-law and host of The Right View. I've become a big fan in a short period of time because she talks with all kinds of people from all walks of life. She sort of is a great storyteller. You got to check out The Right View at Salem Podcast Network. You can go to salempodcastnetwork.com. Lara, it's great to see you again. What a time to be alive. I can't even begin to imagine what it's like to be in your family. I want to talk about all that in just a moment. But first, can we start with the person? I want to start there with the personal side of what it's like to be witnessing the unimaginable, that the government has been weaponized to try to put your father-in-law in jail. They want to bankrupt him. They want to destroy him because they want to rip away the right to vote from millions and millions of Americans and our ability to vote for the 45th president of the United States again. Can I ask you what that's like on a personal side? Forget the punditry and the right versus left and the politics of it all. What's it like to be in a part of this family that is going through so much right now?
You know, it's funny, Mike, because I think back often to the days leading up to my father-in-law coming down the golden escalator, of course, when he announced in 2015 that he was going to run for president. And we all had a dinner together as a family, and we all sat down, and I think obviously we were all very naive to what was about to happen and to politics in general. And I would include my father-in-law to an extent in that as well. But he had this foresight. He had this moment where he looked at all of us and he said, listen, if I do this the right way, if I do what needs to be done for this country, they are going to come after us. And he said us, not me, because he understood, I think, the bigger issue at hand, which is that, you know, whenever you look at what they're doing to Donald Trump, yes, they're targeting him right now, but this is about the future of this country. This is about the fact that it might be Donald Trump right now who's being targeted and seeing a system weaponized against him by his political opponent, Joe Biden, that we never thought in America would ever happen. It's about who are we as a country? And he knew if he did this the right way, if he exposed things in the way that he truly has on so many fronts, whether it's within the mainstream media, whether it's really what's happening in that swamp in Washington, D.C., and swamp, quite frankly, is too kind a word for so many of these people and what is truly at foot there. I think he understood the nature of the beast and what we were up against, but none of us really understood it. And now we do. And you're right. This is my family. This is my father-in-law. This is the grandfather to my children who we have to watch day after day get dragged through hell. He spent his entire life building a company that they're happy to just destroy at a moment's notice. Never mind the thousands of people who might work there or the fact that nothing actually happened that was against the law. They don't care. So as a family member of this man, it's heartbreaking to see what he's going through. But I'll tell you, I often think about things in terms of how you do on an airplane, right? Whenever you look at the flight attendants, if it gets a little bumpy and they're fine, you're fine. You're like, oh, well, they must know. I got to tell you, when I talk to my father-in-law, you know, he'll call me on the phone time to time to discuss things. He is in such a good mood. He's very positive about the outcome of things. And really, he has a very positive view of the future of this country and what he believes ultimately will happen. And so as his daughter-in-law, I have to take that and I have to run with it. And I have to assume that if he's still very positive on things and he still believes ultimately the right thing will happen, I have to believe it too. But it sure isn't easy to see someone you love, someone you know has done nothing wrong, does not deserve any of this, go through the hell that they are dragging him through every single day. It's not right.
Absolutely, and I get inspired too by here's the good news. The good news is there's an answer. There's a solution to this. It's coming on November the 5th, and the even
Right.
better news is that answer is in the hands of every single American man and woman who is absolutely disgusted with what he's going through. And let me share with you how my little trip to Wilmington, North Carolina Saturday. Thanks to the help of some friends, I don't know, like maybe even the office of Laura Trump and Dr. Sebastian Gorka, Dr. G got me in, and I was about 2 rows from the stage and so excited. I interviewed people. I was all day long ready for President Trump to arrive. And sadly, storm clouds moved in. It was
I
actually
know.
it was crazy because, but here's what's kind of cool. First of all, he made the announcement from the plane, which was so neat. I mean, you could hear him, and he said, "Hello, everyone. It's your favorite president. I'm sorry that I'm so devastated that the storms are moving in. They're not going to let us land. But here's what's really special. I spent the whole day there with these people. I think about the way the left and the mainstream media has sheer disdain and contempt for the millions and millions of us who support President Trump. And then I was with these people at this rally. They were kind and patriotic and fun-loving, and they were dedicated to President Trump. For example, when he made the announcement that they had to postpone the event, nobody booed, nobody threw anything, everybody kind of sighed and then all politely filed out. It was such a great mix, Laura, of men, women, young people, old people, white, black, Hispanic. I thought, gosh, I am so proud to be in this crowd. And that's why I went, not just as a broadcaster, but I wanted to support your father-in-law, but I also wanted to be with people that, to me, represent the real America. And ultimately, Laura, you know it as well as anybody, on November the 5th, we're going to see if the real Americans, show up and put an end to this madness.
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just say Wilmington, North Carolina is my hometown. My entire family, my parents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. I mean, I had a huge group that was there excited to see us. And I can't tell you how devastated my father-in-law truly was to have to make that call whenever they said there's a storm coming. As soon as he figured out that there was a safety component and that people could be in harm's way, he said, that's it. We can't allow that to happen.
And by the way, and he said that from the plane, incidentally. He said,
Yes.
Look, your safety is tantamount concern. But see, I was
Right.
out there all day. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was sunny. It was kind of hot.
I know.
And then an hour before, we started seeing all the storm clouds moving in. And I thought, this isn't good.
I know.
This isn't
That's
good.
how it goes. But listen, what you're saying about the crowd at a Trump rally is so spot on. And it's funny because we all get painted with this brush by the left, by the mainstream media, as to who we are. People who are going to a Trump rally, people who love Donald Trump and really believe in putting America first, it's a cross-section of America. It's every person reflected in that crowd that you will find anywhere in this country. There are people who are first-time rally goers, I'm sure, who were there. There are people who maybe that was their 10th or 12th Trump rally to attend. And it really is reflective of our country.
Laura, I talked to a guy that was his 75th rally, and he was brilliant. Edward from New Jersey, and you got to talk to this guy. He's so smart. He's former Democrat, and right now he'd crawl over broke. I mean, it was amazing. I talked to one lady, Renee. She was first in line, 25 rallies, but they were good, smart, engaged people too. I mean, the way they characterize us is so demeaning and so condescending and infuriating because they're denouncing. And again, like you said, this isn't about stopping Donald Trump. It's about stopping us.
Right. Then that's exactly what we need to remember, starting the first day of early voting all the way up to November 5th. Because if we're honest, it's not just an election day anymore. We can get back there. Believe me, no one wants this more than Donald Trump. One day of voting, paper ballots, voter ID across this country. We can see a day like that again, but we have to win this election and we have to play the hand that we're dealt right now. And the hand we're dealt is it's an election season. So starting in September in many states across this country, I want people to remember that as they go vote. We say it every 4 years and we hear it every 4 years that this is the most important election. This one is palpable. People feel right now, I think, what is at stake more so than we ever have in our lifetime, because it's very clear if we allow these communist tactics to take root in our country and be successful in our country, if they're allowing the weaponization of the Department of Justice against a political opponent, and that is successful, we're not the same country on the other side. We're not going to have the same America on the other side. And that's what so many people are realizing. It has had a boomerang effect, all that they've tried to do to Donald Trump. And I would say, and I would pinpoint especially the mugshot in Fulton County, Georgia. They thought that would be the nail in the coffin for Donald Trump on the Democrat side. Man, they put all their cards on the table for that one. That's going to take him down. And it's incredible because so many people out there who said, you know what, this system hasn't been working for me. I've been a victim of it. My family's been a victim of it. They saw Donald Trump as a victim of it as well. And that started to change people's mind about who this man is and why it is that they are all going after him. And I think that people are feeling what is at stake right now. So I want everyone out there to remember, start voting as early as you can. And then you spend your time from the first day of early voting, when you cast your ballot, because you don't know what happens. Life happens, weather happens. It's all out of our hands at some points. Go vote when you can, and then you spend your time taking people from that moment up until November 5th to go vote. And if you want to be part of our election integrity team at the RNC, protectthevote.com. Mike, we're training poll workers. These are people who physically get to handle ballots. You work in a polling location. You work in a tabulation center. We have to have our eye on every aspect of everything. We cannot leave this one to chance. And that's exactly what we're doing from the perspective of the RNC.
So says this busy lady who's the co-chair of the RNC. She's also the host of the Right View podcast, and I speak for all of us here at Salem. We are so thrilled to have you join the Salem family with this great podcast. You can go to salempodcastnetwork.com. Thank you for a little help in getting good old Team Gallagher in the second or third row of the Trump rally. I promise not to bother you too many more times. I want to go back to Wilmington. He's going to go back, right?
Yes.
Oh,
we're
good,
going to
good.
reschedule, and I can promise anyone who was actually there at that rally, there will be something very special at that rally when we do the makeup. So stay tuned. It's coming very soon.
Incredible. And by the way, somebody just corrected me because everybody kind of commonly says Laura Trump. Technically, Lara Trump, right? I mean, I want to say, I want to phonetic.
No.
Laura.
You were right. It's Lara. I was named after Dr. Zhivago. I mean, I don't know. I've been called a lot worse things, Mike. So it's fine.
Laura's theme. Laura's theme. All right. Next time you're on, we'll play that theme music for you. Keep fighting the good fight. Check out her podcast. All the best, Laura. Thanks for joining us.